for this year, it's just if we wanted to do that for next year.
Okay. So my proposal stands then as it was. Lynn, yes.
If we were planning to leave 164 in there, won't we not have them coming for those reserve things? Because if that's 124 and the deficit...
Yes, I'm nearly 170, and then if you knock off the 23-24 deficit, you've got another 12.5 off, which takes you to 158, sorry, 157.5.
I mean, maths isn't great, but...
I was literally just calculating it, changing your mind again if I speak. So if you were to leave 6 months worth of reserves, it's 164.
Yeah.
So from the 294 you go 130 total to earmark.
Yeah.
So we would need to look to reduce, because I've literally just popped figures in.
Yeah.
So for example, new roof I've put 35 because the quotes I've been getting are around 27.30. So we would drop that down. So everything would have to fall within 130 to allow 6 months reserve.
Okay. Okay. So,
Plus we've got the pot from the reserves going to next year's deficit.
That's right, so that figure there, Chair, if we're proposing at 1.5%, that figure then becomes the 32920. So we would just need to lower some of these. So I've literally just put figures in to give you an example. So village projects, you know, we haven't got any village projects that are set in stone, so you could remove that completely. But it was just allowing us a pot that if we wanted to spend out of it. The running costs of the Ackworth Community Centre, again, I've just popped a figure in there. So we would basically need to make that box fit to 130 with your proposal, Chair.
yeah, okay.
So I could go away and put that together for the full council meeting on the 5th.
So what do councillors want to make suggestions now, or are we happy to leave it to the clerk to make a general sort of view about what we should do, but leave it to Gemma to sort of think about it?
Because don't we need to decide the contingency? Because she needs to, whatever the contingency is, will also impact that 125.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to put one in, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously I know that over quite a period, certainly over the last 4 years, and I'm pretty sure probably before as well, there has been quite low raises over the time, and that's to protect with financial crises and everything that's going on. So I'm definitely in favour of an increase as well. It's depending on how much really, and it's trying to sort of balance between. I realise in comparison to other things that we pay, such as council tax to Wakefield Council and so on, that those figures will be considerably different. And I realise that technically when you look at it, £1.13, which is 1.5% increase, is very small, but it's still having an effect on people's monthly budgets and so on. So I think overall, yes, I would go with 1.5, which would be a gradual increase. And again, I'd go with, I think we should plan to have these projects because they have been agreed in the previous meetings and so on, but there are certain things that, for instance, the immediate one that is standing out to me is the lowest, but it is standing, the Christmas decorations upgrade. If that needed, it would be desirable, but it would be £1,000 off of, that might be something that we might reconsider perhaps on this occasion.
You'd have to lose about 24,000 for this, wouldn't you? And that's without...
Oh, yeah, I realise. I know that some of these are definitely, things that we've earmarked from previous meetings, so...
Sorry.
I guess we also don't know if we're going to be able to go ahead with the guardrail, do we?
Well, that's a decision to be made, yeah.
Well, in the sense of as well as whether it's actually feasible and...
Yeah.
And that's what's been thought about budgeting in January. We've still got a quarter to go.
Can I just, I might have missed that. I thought Bell Lane Car Park was Wakefield Council's then.
Sorry, it's here.
Oh, that,
It's just
oh,
what I've
oh, that
got
one,
for
right, I
the
see.
It's that part back there.
Right, I see.
It's the community centre.
Community centre.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I was
Yeah.
hoping we could get rid of 15,000.
And it might not cost that much, it's
Yeah.
just that if we're going to earmark it, we need to
Yeah.
put a figure against it.
Yeah.
The same as solar panels, you know, that would have to go through council anyway for a decision to be made, but I've popped that there as a pot so that if we do decide to do that, the money's at least there to do it.
We do also have some money in deposit account, don't we?
We
And
do.
so part of our decision could be to move some money from the deposit, to decide how much we need to keep, want to keep in the deposit account and move some funding from the deposit account into the reserves account, wherever it stays.
Yeah, that would be an option.
We could actually do that during the course of the year, couldn't we? So we could suspend some of these spending items here, because this isn't, the budget is this is what we have to approve. It's just that this is contingent on this. We don't have to approve this. We just have to approve, at the moment, this budget and how we're going to deal with the variance. That's what we have to recommend tonight. This is just that, this is what, this table about projects is what this budget is built, assuming that that's how those projects will be funded. So we could...
So sorry, what is held in the deposit account? That's not a reserve, that comes from somewhere else. We did some time ago, in maybe this has been at least 2 councils ago, so some money was put from our reserves into deposit accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CCLA is known as.
What does that stand for? Sorry.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can...
Something loan account, something charities and community loan account.
I know
or
that
something
it's
like that.
an investment that we've got, yeah.
It's a sort of a public sector kind of...
It's where the interest comes from. We've got an income of interest.
Yeah. So it gives quite a decent rate of interest.
Yeah.
So that's something we could approve. We could agree on an amount we could agree what we're doing with the precept, freezing it, raising it by what amount. We could agree this budget for recommendation and agree that this amount of money, the variance which is earmarked from reserves, and we could come back to the reserves and the projects and look at the deposit account at the same time in another meeting, because it's not part of what we have to approve. It's part of the big picture.
Would that come to the full council meeting then? Would that be that discussed?
Well, I think we'd have to have an informed discussion, not on whatever day that would be, not on the 4th of February, but it would come to a future F&GP meeting with all the information and make a recommendation on reserves and deposit accounts for future, to way to move it forward.
I'd included it tonight because it answers some questions. For example, why there's not a budget header for Ackworth quarries. It's because it's there, but it's exactly as the chair has said.
And we don't have to agree on an amount to keep in contingency tonight either,
the key document is this A3 spreadsheet. And like I say, what we do with the variance at the end, that's the key point. Because this budget will not be approved by Wakefield unless we've actually accounted for that figure, that bottom line figure. But I think, if I'm right, Gemma, you've been through it all in some considerable detail, and it's pared down without losing stuff, losing projects, losing facilities, losing services that we provide.
Do we know what, because the rates are going about 4.5%, aren't they?
Wait, so council?
Yes.
I don't know, but
Yeah, we've not had it officially confirmed through the clerk yet, but we've noticed from just the grounds maintenance, which was the item we looked at before, it's just over 3%, which is what I've included in this for any services, 3% inflation.
Oh, right, I'm reading the paper. So, we've not, except for last year, had an increase in the precept. Is that because those years we had some general reserves to carry? Sorry, not general reserves. We didn't have a deficit in those years, so we didn't
That's
charge.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we've got another agenda item to consider after this, and we do need to make progress with this. So I'm going to revise my, because nobody else has commented on my proposal or seconded it or commented on it. So I'm going to revise it, which is that we go for a 1.5% increase in the precept. We agree that the variance will be earmarked from our reserves to allow this budget to be acceptable and balanced. That we bring back to the next Finance and General Purposes meeting, on the next Finance and General Purposes meeting, we look again at these projects with the reserves and the investment account, invested money, and decide on what contingents, as part of that, decide on the funding to these projects and what the contingency should be that we keep, safeguarded in our reserves. So that's a three-part proposal? Yes, it is.
yes.
So, any further comment on that? Because I'm going to sort of move on with it
I'm happy to
now.
second that.
Okay, thanks, Lynn.
That
Are we happy to move to a vote on that then? We think we've... Okay.
covers the
So,
budget and
Yeah,
deficit.
yeah.
So,
And so I'm taking
yes.
it as all as the same thing because it's all interrelated. So just one vote on those three aspects. Is that okay? So can I see all those in support of that proposal in terms of the budget that we recommend to the meeting on the 8th of February? Is it whatever date in February? Doesn't really matter what the date is. The February Council Meeting. Yeah. Okay? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that. It's difficult, it's a tricky decision, and it's a detailed budget, and Gemma's done, I don't know how many hours of work you've done with Gemma, lost count, but next time,
It'll be
it'll be
easier.
more. Okay, thank you very much. So we've done that. So we've done 5 and 6 and 7, haven't we? We've considered the draft budget and we've considered that we've approved, we've made recommendations for the next Parish Council meeting. So public are excluded from the next part of the meeting. Yeah. And I think that includes your manager as well, if you're on the committee. Sorry about that. And Andrew.
Am I in next meeting?